Why pay for something when you can do it yourself for twice as much? Good muggy Saturday morning. It is in the mid 80s right now, supposed to get to a high of 91, but a heat index of like 101, 102 today. We're looking at 90% humidity, and I think there's like a 75% chance of storms this afternoon. This video, however, is not about the weather. Today's a little bit different. I'm not talking about growing stuff today. Today we're talking about making stuff. I'm going to put together a little quick woodworking project. And again, I know less about woodworking than I know about gardening, just so you'll know. Going to put together a little quick woodworking project here, a wall hanging for the missus. She saw something she liked on one of those websites where you can buy stuff that other people handmade, and I was just like, I can make that. So that's what we're going to do. Today's task is to take the wood that I've bought, which is brand new wood, and I need to make it look like it's reclaimed wood. So I'm going to rough it up a little bit with a grinding wheel and some nails and things like that. Then I'm going to cut it to the lengths that I need and stain it to look like it's old weathered wood, or at least kind of like old weathered wood. That'll be as far as I get on that project today, because I want to let the stain get a chance to good and set before I piece the thing together. And then hoping to find someone that has a laser engraver so they can put something word-wise on there for me. We'll see if that happens. Let's get to it. Let me set up my workshop, because I don't have a real woodworking shop. So I'm going to be setting stuff out right here on some sawhorses, and need to get it done before that sun gets over these trees here. Hello, welcome to my workshop. I don't have a real workshop. I have to work outside. In fact, last summer I built 2 end tables, actually 3, for my house, but I had to work outside, and I had to set a tent up over my head to protect me from the elements, especially the sun. Today I'm going to take these boards I bought at my local big box home improvement store. They are just ordinary project boards, and they're relatively smooth, but I want them to look old and beat up. That's what we're going to do next. I will take the angle grinder and rough up the edges so it looks worn. Then I will take the hammer, maybe even a crowbar, and a nail, and just beat it up a little bit so it looks even more old and beaten. When I'm finished, then I will cut them to length and stain them so that they look old and weathered. Let's get to it. Okay, welcome to my other workshop. I wish I'd had the camera going right after I first set this up because the birds have been, of course, coming to the suet feeder here, but they were really curious about all this other stuff that was out here. So I had birds hopping all over the table and all over the camera and the tripod trying to figure out what was going on. And unfortunately, I was just putting things on the table and didn't think, oh, I should be videoing this. That would have been cool. Oh well, win some, lose some. I've already applied some pre-stain conditioner to the wood, and I've got my stain ready. We're going to apply it to the board here in a couple different sequences. I got 3 different colors that we're going to apply. I'm going to start with a brownish color. It's the lightest of the 3, and just sort of get some splotches of that I will allow to bleed through to sort of give an impression of, hey, here's what this wood used to look like. Then I will take some gray and some ebony stain to stain around it, rub that in to provide that aged and weathered look. Put some gloves on here to avoid getting it all over my hands. I'm not sure why it's resisting. Well, this is why I have 2 gloves. Ugh. Now that awkward break is gone, I had to shoe the neighbor's free-range chickens home. Let me show you. I'm going to do a small piece here of what this will look like. I'm going to use a cloth to do the brown. So just going to put a light coating of the brown. It doesn't have to cover the wood, but if you cover the wood, that's fine. Get the edges. I need to put my other glove on. Now I'm going to take the gray stain and put over this. Just going to put it in spots. I'm not going to cover the wood with it. I'm just using a cheap chip brush with this. Just barely get some on the bristles. Get it on. Then I'll take a cloth and sort of rub that in. You can already see the difference it's making in the wood. And now take the ebony stain, and don't need much because it's so dark. I think before when I've done this I've used a dark walnut, but I couldn't find that, and I found this ebony that I used for another project last summer. I'm just gonna sort of stripe that in. And take my cloth and sort of rub it in and rub it off at the same time. And there you go. Instant old weathered wood. It's a little bit darker than I want it. The ebony is. Hopefully the missus will be okay with it. We'll see. Now I'm just going to repeat that process with all of these small pieces. Okay, all of the stain is applied. I didn't put the darker stain on every piece just so I can sort of get an alternating pattern. And the boards, got approval from the missus before doing so to give it even more of a reclaimed rustic look. This is not the final product. This is how it'll look when it's put together though. I'm gonna let the stain set and dry the rest of this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow I'll glue it together and then hopefully get that other piece lasered on and we'll see. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow to glue this together because the stain is for the most part dry. I'm going to flip this over and then glue some supports across the back and put this thing in order. This is the rough order of the boards, so just going to flip everything over. And so now these are labeled left and right on the back. I need to make sure I put the left on the right hand side now. Instead, when we put them together, it's not so much the staining that's important as it is the lengths of the board. The way the pattern works, the piece on the left hand side, which since this is the back, it's now the right hand side, extends out 2 inches from the edge of the other. So I'll measure that. And then this will be the width of the vertical part of our cross, and then everything just butts up against it. Now this next piece here is going to be the same length as this height here, just for the sake of symmetry and balance. And this is a spacer to help me get that correct. And then everything else just goes flush against our vertical parts. Now I'm going to glue these across the back to hold everything together. This is a piece that I roughed up last summer for another project. So we'll glue those on, stick these weights on top. Okay, there we go. Like I said, I think I'm going to put a little bit more weight on here just to really squeeze that down tight and let it dry.
Here is the finished product after the glue has dried. Very happy with its appearance. There still is no laser engraving on there. Not sure if that's going to happen or not. Our friend with the laser engraver has not gotten back in touch with us. However, we may not go with the laser engraving. We like the way it looks as it is, and we haven't decided on what we would have engraved on there in the first place. So if nothing else happens to it, we'll be perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and hang this on the wall in the guest bedroom, which is its purpose. And if we decide we want to put something on there, we'll see if our friend can do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please do me a favor. Please go down and give it a thumbs up, give it a like, maybe even share it with someone who might enjoy watching this as well. While you're down there, go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with everything that's going on around here. Any other things that I might make, the things that I'm trying to grow, the efforts to turn this place into a suburban homestead. Always remember, the one who created you made you able to create also. So get out there and make it, grow it, and live it.